Well, welcome everybody to our first service of the new year, of the secular new year. How lucky we are to have this great community to share these special moments with. I always feel truly blessed to be in the presence of all of you, and it's been one of the real enriching aspects of my life to be part of this community and to be able to share my Jewish life with you and Cantorial and all the others who are with us. And so thank you very much for coming. And I'm really looking forward to all the wonderful things we'll find this year together. We'll look for them and hopefully we'll find them. But the first thing we're going to look for is the angels. We're going to sing a song welcoming the angels. The Hasidic rabbis really didn't think that we needed to welcome the angels on Shabbat. We just needed to recognize that the angels were always present. We just needed to be awake to the presence of angels in our lives. And I know that through my work as a doctor and a chaplain, I've seen plenty of angels in the world. And I'm always happy to welcome them in a more formal way with this beautiful song on Shabbat.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruchuni L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzedchem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Okay. We celebrate many special times, particularly the entry of Shabbat with the lighting of candles. It's our way of recognizing that our task is to bring light into the world, to make the world a brighter place for everyone. So please join Cantorial as he lights the candles of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam אשר קידשנו במצוותיו, במצוותיו. וציוונו להדליק נר, וציוונו להדליק נר, וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת. יא לה 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 לה, 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 יא לה 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 לה.
Thank you. Now it is our honor and our privilege to bestow the priestly blessing upon all of you. Andy and I will bestow the priestly blessing, and please answer each of our blessings with may it be so. Yivarachecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless and keep you. May God shine his face upon you, turn his face upon you, and be gracious to you. May God turn his face and lift you up when you are down, and bestow on you a great peace and wholeness, so that you can bring your best into the world.
Ken Yehiratson.
Thank you. Okay. We're going to start our Psalms with Psalm 97.
And we'll do the last paragraph that says, light is shown for the righteous and radiance for the upright. Or zarua latzadik ul yisrael lev simcha. Or zarua latzadik ul yisrael lev simcha. Or zarua latzadik ul yisrael lev simcha. Ul yisrael lev simcha. Or zarua latzadik ul yisrael lev simcha. Ul Yisrael lev simcha. Ya da 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 ya da da ya da ya da 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 ya da da ya da 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 ya da ya da da ya da da. Or zarua latzadik Ul Yisrael lev simcha. Or zarua latzadik ul Yisrael lev simcha.
We proceed with the highlight of the Kabbalat Shabbat part of our service, Lecha Dodi. It's interesting. I was studying some Kabbalah the other day, and I realized the Kabbalists really understood things a little bit different than the Hasidic tradition I'm part of. The Kabbalist idea was that the transcendent aspect of God and the immanent aspect of God are separated, and that our task as humanity is to help unite the two of them, to form the bridge with our good deeds between the transcendent and the immanent God, to bring the two of them back to this divine marriage, which is what this Kabbalistic prayer celebrates. But the Hasidic tradition, the Neo-Hasidic tradition, which I'm part of, really sees that there's no separation. The separation is just our inability to see the unification of the transcendent and the immanent. And that when we sing this song, we really recognize that there isn't any separation, that on Shabbat, our vision is just brighter and our vision is more acute, so that we can no longer see the separation. We only see the unification of God's presence in everything and in everybody. So please join Andy as we sing Lecha Dodi.
Beautiful. In more traditional communities where they sing all 9 verses, oftentimes they'll switch melodies halfway through, both to really get everybody going and to keep it from being too boring to hear the cantor say the same thing over and over. But we never get to do that because we're smart and only do 4 verses. So I'm going to do that melody for the entire 4 verses that we do. Lecha Dodi likrat kala hine Shabbat nekabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala hine Shabbat nekabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala hine Shabbat nekabela Jamor v'zachor b'diborecha ishmi'anu el ha'meuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shem ultiferet v'litila lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela לקראת שבת לכוון אלך כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נשוך סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה verse 5 התעוררי כי באורך ומאורי אורי שידברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה verse 9 We rise in body or spirit if we can to greet the Sabbath bride. Verse 9. Boi v'shalom ateret bala gam b'simcha uvetzola toch emune am segulam boi chala Boi chala lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה.
We'll continue with the Psalm for Shabbat. It's good to thank God on Shabbat. It's good to thank God every day. No matter how desperate our situations are, there is always so much to be thankful for. There's always something to be thankful for. And this beautiful psalm praises God for all the good that's present in the world.
Tzadikat hamar yivrach ke'erez balvanon yizke shetuli בבית אדוני, בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו עוד ינובון בשיבה, דשנים מרננים יהיו להגיד כי ישר אדוני צורי ולא עוולתה בו.
Now we begin our Mariv service, our evening service, leaving this beautiful Kabbalat Shabbat, this welcoming of Shabbat, part of our service, to now enter into our more formal Mariv service. So please rise as we say the Baruch Hu.
Adonai Amevorach Baruch Adonai Amevorach Amevorach Leolam Vaed Amevorach Amevorach Leolam Vaed.
Blessing for the evening. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim.
Amen.
Now we get ready to say the Shema. You know, Shabbat is really the gift of our civilization to the world. It's a gift because it's a gift that recognizes that we need a time of rest. We need a time to take all the distractions, all the difficulties in our life, and put them aside and just spend a day in service to ourselves and in service to our divine lives. So the Shema is our call to wholeness, our call to bringing all those disparate parts that seem to be breaking apart into one consolidated, beautiful, divine whole that can shine divine light into the world on this special Shabbat evening and during every moment of our lives.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Emet. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Just as our ancient ancestors stood on the shores of the Sea of Reeds as it was split, we join them in this moment of celebrating the wonders of the world that has been created by the Creator. It's an amazing world. There are so many amazing places, things to see in the world, and it's all done with a divine hand. So just as our ancient Israelite ancestors celebrated, we celebrate now with Micha Mocha.
מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה לי אנו ואמרו, זה לי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Blessed are you, O God, for redeeming your people Israel. So we now stand for the Amidah. It's our moment of deepest connection with however we understand the divine in our lives. We enter the virtual throne room of the divine essence of the world. So as in any throne room, it's useful to enter with a certain amount of reverence. So we take 3 steps back, and then we take 3 steps forward as we enter this beautiful moment of the Amidah. We're going to sing the first 3 blessings, and then there'll be some silence for your own silent prayers, and then Cantor Andy will join us again with Oseh Shalom. Please rise if you're able, physically or spiritually.
Adonai sefetai tiftach, ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei HaKol, Ve'zocher Asdei Avot ve'imahot, U'mevii Ge'ula livnei v'neihem, Nama'an Shemo be'ahava, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה, רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומחיה אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום, יהללוך סלע, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו ואמרו amen.
Thank you, Cantor Andy. Whenever I, even for a second, forget how blessed we are to have your wonderful prayer leading and voice opening our hearts and making us available to the best of who we are. I should never forget. I should never forget. And I'm so grateful to you as a colleague to be
Bless
able
you,
to share the
Rabbi.
Bima with you.
Thank you so much.
So many of you who have kind of studied the book of Genesis know that basically there's one theme that seems to speak to the entirety of the book of Genesis, and that's sibling rivalries. It starts with Cain and Abel. It continues with Isaac and Ishmael, and then it goes to Yaakov and Esau. And finally, we get this terrible sibling rivalry between Joseph and his brothers. It's a terrible sibling rivalry. And I think that this week, there's this very poignant moment where Genesis finally teaches us how to end sibling rivalries, or at least a path towards ending sibling rivalries. There's this really poignant moment in this week's Torah portion that I wanted to talk to you about today. The first words of this week's Torah portion are Vayigash, and it means, and he approached, or he came near. And it's really talking about this dialogue that Judah has with Joseph that seems to transform their relationship and make the brothers become whole again. Joseph had met with his brothers, and the whole Joseph narrative, particularly of his time when he was the viceroy of Egypt. Joseph had met with his brothers quite a few times, but each time he had created some ethical or moral test to see if they had changed, if they were still the same guys who threw him into a pit and sold him into slavery. First, he gives money back and hides money in their sack, so it looks like they stole money from him. And then in this week's Torah portion, he hides a gold goblet in Benjamin's sack. And he demands that Benjamin become a slave because he's stolen the gold goblet. He doesn't trust his brothers, and he keeps testing them to see if he can trust them. But this week, this encounter between Joseph and Judah, it's different. It's different. It says in this week's Torah portion, and Judah came near. But there's something more that the Torah really means by this coming near. Because Judah not only comes near to Joseph, but he tells the full story of his family. He tells his truth. And he expresses a willingness to be sacrificed instead of Benjamin to become the slave. On hearing this, Joseph breaks down, reveals his true identity to Judah, and forgives his brothers completely. So what is it about this interaction? Why was it so different? Why did it create this great change in Joseph? And what do we have to learn from this? Well, the key idea here is the ability to really fully approach someone, to really fully approach. What does it mean to come near someone? Well, for me, it means that Judah was able to drop his defenses and be vulnerable and tell Joseph his truth. He metaphorically approached his brother with full presence and an open heart. By telling Joseph his truth in a heartfelt fashion, Judah allowed Joseph to find a way to his heart to forgive his brothers. There's a beautiful line from Proverbs that describes how the meeting between two people who are fully present and open to each other can create a wonderful place of discernment and connection. Here's what Proverbs says. As face answers to face in water, so does one man's heart to another. As face answers face in water, so does one man's heart to another. I really love this phrase from Proverbs because it teaches us that when we stand face to face with another and make an empathic connection, we're able to open our hearts to each other. So often in our lives, we approach others without being fully present. We do not really vayigash or come near. We seek a connection with a family friend or a a family member, but are not really conscious of how important it is to form this empathic connection. We come defended, we keep our distance, we talk about peripheral things, and we leave this interaction feeling very lonely and distant. It's as if the interaction didn't even occur because we never talked about what was in our heart, what was most important. Today's Torah teaching really teaches us how important it is to open our hearts to others when we join in dialogue. We need to be willing to stand face to face with those we speak to. If we do this, if we stand face to face, open-hearted, we invite those we connect with to open their hearts to us. And these are the type of interactions that can really deepen relationships and help the participants find a way back to forgiveness and reconciliation. As face answers to face in water, so does one man's heart to another. When I meet with someone as a rabbinic counselor or spiritual director, I always try and meet those I work with an open heart and radical curiosity. I want to hear their story without judgment. In my work as a rabbi, I've learned that through the process of compassionate listening and thoughtful inquiries, I can really help people find their divine truth and wisdom. I've come to understand that this inner place of divine wisdom and truth is always there. It never leaves us. I've also learned that it sometimes can be very difficult to access this divine place where our truth resides. Painful events in our lives create impenetrable walls that limit our ability to tap into our inner wisdom. Ideally, I say, I help those I work with tear down those walls and return to their sacred space. This is the place where they are at their best and where their most authentic selves expresses itself. This is the same approach that it makes sense in all of our interactions with all the people we meet, with our family, with our friends. If we approach interaction and conversation with an open heart, we can hope that we can open the heart of those we meet with. Martin Buber has this beautiful vision that when people really are in meaningful conversation with each other, face to face, that's where the divine dwells, between the two people who are in face to face and honest conversation with each other. This is what's being taught for us and modeled for us in this beautiful encounter between Judah and Joseph. Through his open-hearted approach, Judah helped Joseph find a way back to his place of divine wisdom. No further tests of his brothers was necessary. Even though they had mistreated him, he now was able to reach his godlike place of forgiveness and love. My heartfelt blessing for all of this New Year's is that we pay attention to how we speak to our family, friends, and those that we meet, that we're attentive to the quality of the dialogue, to be fully present, not distracted, to speak and listen with an open-hearted truth. If we do this, I suspect it will become much easier to access our own divine wisdom whenever we approach this way. This place of wisdom is always where we want to be. This place of divine wisdom that dwells inside of us is always where we want to be, because this is the place where we are truly home. It's a place that allows our divine light to shine into the world. And that's my hope as a spiritual leader, that I can bring my divine light into the world and that I can help all those I work with bring their divine light into the world so the world becomes a better place. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Yasher Koach, Rabbi.
We continue with one of the things as a physician, which is quite important to me, a prayer for healing. Does anyone have someone they want to remember for healing? Please remember to unmute and say their names for us.
Sue Galpert.
Sue Galpert.
Carol Huey.
Carol Huey,
Stuart Paul.
Stuart Paul. Karen,
Bix Barnaba.
Big
Suzanne Joyce, Andy Hyman, Annabelle Gurwitz, Karen Harris. One more, if I can pull it out of my brain. Rachel Furman.
Rachel Furman.
And Christina Berner and Jackie Lent.
Mhm. Sue, you had your hand up.
Elaine Crispy,
Elaine Crespi,
Susan Harris,
Susan Harris, and Christine Bukanian.
Rabbi Stephanie.
Rabbi Jason and Bhavani Mann.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I want to remember my teacher, Rabbi Marcia Prager, the Dean Emeritus of the Aleph Ordination Program.
I will add my mom, Ellen, my little sister, Anna, Charlotte Hyman, and all of the Hyman family.
Yes.
We'll bring the words up to the screen so that everyone can see them and share in them. Yisheberach Avotenu Mekor HaBrecha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habrecha lehavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We want a blessing, loving energy of the universe. Please bring healing to all those that we mentioned. Please bring comfort and healing and whatever is possible to the hostages held in such a terrible situation. May they know that they're not forgotten for 1 minute by the Jewish community, that we are there with them under these terrible circumstances in spirit, and that we wish and we hope every day for their release and the return to their family and return to the wonderful lives they had before they were so cruelly disrupted.
Amen.
We're going to continue the service with our prayer Alinu, our prayer of dedication to being part of the process of healing the world.
We rise, if we can, in body and certainly in spirit. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'teit gedula le'otzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, v'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu yihei Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
In a moment, we're going to say the mourner's Kaddish, the prayer for the remembrance. Where our tradition holds fast and holds close to those that have left their bodies and are present in another dimension. And this is our way to remember them. Does anyone have somebody who they are celebrating a yahrzeit or experience a yahrzeit or have died recently and they'd like to remember? Karen.
My father, Dr. Lewis Goodman, yahrzeit.
A close friend of ours, Harvey Crespi.
Harvey Crespi.
My two sisters, it's Polly Barmaper. My two sisters, Diane Warco and Pat Sachs.
Your two sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Denise, do you have somebody?
Omira Shalhoub, whom we buried today.
Oh.
Almost 103. Magnificent woman.
Andy.
Father, Steve Henry.
Your
And
father.
of course, holding Charlotte's family with her husband, Jerry, her son, Michael, and Michael's wife, Audrey.
Right. She has had a lot to bear in a very short period of time. God bless her. So if please rise in spirit or body and repeat after me. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shmei rabbah v'yama divra kirutei v'yamich malchutei v'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayach b'kol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach li'olam li'olmei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithagar v'yithaleh v'yithalal Shmei de Kudashah B'richu Leila min kol birchata v'shirata Tishbechata v'nechemata Damiran b'yama v'imru Amen. Yehi Shlomo Rabba min Shemaya V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav Hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May they all be remembered as a blessing for the blessing they were in our lives and for the blessing they still are, their memories still are for us. So we spoke a little bit about this idea of shining our divine lights into the world and how meaningful dialogues that allow us to be our true selves helps shine our divine light into the world. And what do we want this light to do? That's the real question. We want the light to build a world from love. So we're going to end our service today with this beautiful prayer, Olam Chesed Yibaneh. We would like to build a world with love. And if we do this, then the divine energy of the world makes that love even greater.
Olam Chesed Yibaneh Yananai Nai Nai Yananai Nai Olam Chesed Yibaneh Yananai Nai Nai Yananai Nai Olam Chesed Yibaneh Yananai Nai 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 Olam Chesed Yibaneh Yananai Nai Nai I will build this world from love. Yananai Nai Nai And you must build this world from love. And if we build this world from love, then God will build this world from love. Olam chesed yivaneh, Olam chesed yivaneh, Olam chesed yivaneh, Olam chesed yivaneh,
Shabbat shalom, everyone. May we all build the world filled with love and filled with goodness in everything we do this week. And may we have a wonderful Shabbat, a Shabbat of peace, a Shabbat of rest, a Shabbat of renewal. And may that Shabbat be the first of many, many wonderful Shabbats this year.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom. Karen, do you have some announcements for our wonderful group?
So, two things. The first is to let you know, because I do not say it often enough, because we often meet on Zoom, and even if we're meeting together, we owe so much to our rabbi and our cantor, and we can show that in two ways. One is by being here and acknowledging all their preparation, all their work, all their talent, their knowledge, which is considerable. And the second way, which we cannot do in person, is to pass a basket. We need more donations. And in order, this is honor, this is to honor these two beautiful people, our rabbi and our cantor. And I hope I will remember to remind you, and I hope that you will consider, even $10 per service would be so meaningful. So please consider that. You can send us money through Zelle and through PayPal or a check, So any of the above would be so wonderful, because we are building this world from love, and I would like that love to spread in yet another way. Your next chance in person, and where we will have a basket, is on Saturday, January 18th. Let me just check that. Yes, which is 10:30 in the morning at the church, our synagogue. Please join us. We've had the last couple months great groups, larger than this, and it would be great if you could be there. Those of you who do not have other commitments. That's it.
We'll be at a point of probably with a burning bush.
Oh yeah, who wants to miss that?
Who wants to miss that? Certainly, it will be burning. It will be a burning question to me what we'll discuss that day. But yeah, we usually keep the room open for a little while for people to socialize. I'd like to hear what Kristen, whether she'd been to another Jewish service before, and what this was like for her. hopefully she'll be open-hearted and let us know what it was like for her. And I'd like to hear from everybody about how their New Year was and just socialize for a little while.
I will ask you all to once again put on your Beverly Hillbillies hat and wave goodbye to the folks at home on YouTube. But before you do that, I should have said that before you all started waving. There is a third thing you can do to really help support this amazing community, and it's very easy. Invite people. Invite people in person and invite people with the links that Karen sends beforehand. Have them show up on YouTube if they can't make it on Zoom. And if you have nothing better to do tomorrow, put your phone on the YouTube service that we just did. Let it get another view. The views add up and it really, really helps. So it's easy to do.
I will do that.
Really
I will do that.
Excellent. Thank you, Polly. So Shabbat Shalom, all of you, and Shabbat Shalom to the folks on YouTube to whom we are now saying.
Hold on, I want to just don't say goodbye yet.
Oh, yes.
I just wanted to tell people, both in the room and on YouTube, that the board and Karen and Sue have worked heroically to keep this place alive.
Amen.
And I think we should honor their efforts, because it would have been pretty easy to just say, it's work. What do we need this? What do we need this? But they stood up. They stood up. They stood up and kept it alive. And that is truly a mitzvah. It's a great thing they've done for the Jewish world. And it will, and it means something. It means something. It means something. Absolutely.
Thank you for saying that, Rabbi. And Karen and Sue and everyone, thank you for
Yeah,
hard work.
Aaron and Sue.
Well, plus on the board too.
The entire
And the
board who carry the congregation financially.
Right.
And the Rabbi and Andy. By the way,
bless.
Andy, your phone, your mic today has been kind of half.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's the first time anyone's told me I was too quiet in my whole life.
I could barely hear the guitar.
Oh, no. Well, I'll make a confession now that YouTube is gone. In all of the moving of heavy boxes and furniture and stuff that I did up at my